WESH 2 News starts now.
A police officer is recovering tonight after being nearly killed while trying to make a traffic stop this morning.
The Belle Isle officer was run over by a trailer. WESH 2's Greg Fox shows us how it all went down.
Mr. Miller.
It took the judge quite a while to rattle off the list of charges against Carlos Jerome Miller, who allegedly ran over Belle Isle police officer Zachary Matthews early Wednesday morning.
Resisting officer with violence, 2 counts, aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer with a motor vehicle.
This is the motor vehicle, Miller's SUV, that was pulling a trailer when he was pulled over for having no operating taillights. It happened here at Jetport Drive and Boggy Creek Road in front of a car rental agency near the airport. The officers were trying to get the suspect out of the car. He was still here in the driver's seat. Then the officers say they saw him reaching underneath the driver's seat. That's when officers really tried to get him out of the car, and either it was in drive or he put it in drive and started moving away. That's when the one officer lost his footing and fell back behind the vehicle and was run over by the trailer.
But in the struggle to remove the driver from the vehicle, the driver shoves the officer, and the officer loses footing, and his feet slips and kind of pushes him back at the same time. The vehicle's in motion, and the trailer kind of runs up on the officer, yes.
Deputy Police Chief Jeremy Millis tells me the other officer was able to stop the vehicle and trailer and arrest Miller, who suffered an eye injury that required medical treatment.
I don't think that there would have been a struggle in this situation had the driver not started reaching around inside the vehicle. And later on, they actually recovered a firearm from the same vehicle, too.
Officer Matthews was rushed to Orlando Regional Medical Center's ER. He's being treated for back and other injuries.
It could have been worse, absolutely, but I still think that there's still some hurdles that are going to have to be overcome.
Miller, who has had multiple arrests, is also charged with possession of various drugs. In Orange County, Greg Fox, WESH 2 News.
WESH 2 Investigates has obtained body camera video that shows just how dangerous a traffic stop can be.
Yeah, the suspect put up a fight, and as you can now see on this video, one officer who was run over while trying to make that arrest. WESH 2 News investigative reporter Greg Fox has a closer look at this video and reaction from police.
No, sir, no, sir, no, sir.
That's Belle Isle police officer Zachary Matthews attempting to get Carlos Jerome Miller out of his vehicle last Wednesday morning after pulling him over for having no working taillights on the trailer he was towing. When first confronted, Matthews and Officer Christian Rodriguez told Miller they smelled the odor of marijuana in the vehicle. That's when they ordered him out.
What you doing to me is illegal.
Carlos, stop reaching. Stop reaching. Stop reaching.
As Miller continued resisting officer commands and trying to reach under a seat, his SUV remained in drive and started moving along with the trailer. As they tried to remove him from the vehicle, Matthews at one point loses his footing, falling under the trailer. Officer Rodriguez catches Miller as the vehicle and trailer roll into a ditch.
So now you can see Zach has come into the picture and is assisting Officer Rodriguez.
That's right. Belle Isle Police Chief Travis Grimm showed us the remarkable effort by Matthews. He gets up to help his fellow officer restrain Miller, despite suffering serious back injuries.
Call it over me. Any medical? Sir, you know.
That's Matthews calling for paramedics for himself. Officer Rodriguez realizes Matthews has been run over.
Matthews, go sit.
Matthew, please.
Go sit. It's all right. He's good.
Please.
With help from other officers and deputies. Miller was taken into custody. A knife was found on the floor and a gun in the back seat of Miller's SUV. Matthews was rolled into a paramedic unit to be treated for what could have been life-threatening injuries. The police chief says this is a good example of why there's no such thing as a routine traffic stop when police pull over a driver on the side of the road. It can be very dangerous.
You know, it's not always about the officer's safety. While we are very concerned with that, it's the individual safety.
Matthews has been hospitalized since the incident, but is improving.
He's feeling better. He's getting a lot more mobility back, and he is excited to get possibly released soon.
In Orange County, Greg Fox, West 2 News.
A local police officer who was run over during a traffic stop is talking with West 2 News exclusively. Zachary Matthews of the Belle Isle Police Department is facing rehab right now for some serious injuries.
But as he explained in an exclusive interview with West 2 News investigative reporter Greg Fox, he is eager to get back on the job.
I do have some fractures in my back, which is the main reason why I'm having to use a walker.
There were moments when Zachary Matthews wasn't sure if he was partially paralyzed.
I have less sensitivity in my right leg. When I first got transported, I was not able to feel it. So unfortunately, it was kind of a weird feeling not being able to feel your leg at all. I was relieved to know that it wasn't worse than, the injuries weren't worse than what they actually were.
The Belle Isle police officer, just a year on the job, was with Officer Christian Rodriguez last Wednesday morning near Orlando International. Matthews had pulled over an SUV towing a trailer, and the officers say the smell of marijuana had them ordering the driver, Carlos Miller, out. Instead, Miller put up a fight.
Once we were able to get him out of the vehicle, he actually took off towards oncoming traffic. So I actually ended up grabbing him to stop him from being hit by another vehicle. And then at that point, he actually shoved me backwards. After that, I ended up on the ground.
On the ground while the SUV was in drive and moving ahead with the trailer coming right for Matthews.
When the tire went over on top of me, the initial, when I got on the ground, I was more on my side, pinned between the trailer. Once it started moving, that's when I actually ended up with the tire on top of me. It was seconds. It felt like a long time, but it was seconds, so I was able to lift the trailer off.
Exactly how he did that, he's not sure. But he managed to get free and run to Officer Rodriguez and help him secure Miller before collapsing to wait for paramedics.
A lot of adrenaline and the thought in my mind that my partner was fighting somebody that was getting able to run for his money at that point.
Zach was wearing what they call an all-in-one. It's a vest that's got built-in armor and it's got tack gear on the front of it. It's very heavy. It's about 27 pounds. And he says the fact that he was wearing this probably shielded him from more serious injuries. Now Matthews has weeks of rehab to help his body heal from the trauma. He hopes to be back, at least on light duty, in the next month or so.
What happened, but everything could be a lot worse, and I'm thankful that it wasn't. A lot of pain right now, but on track to make a full recovery.
In Orange County, Greg Fox, West 2 News.
A local police officer run over and nearly killed while trying to arrest a suspect is back on the job right now.
West 2 News investigative reporter Greg Fox has this remarkable and exclusive story of an officer determined to get back on the streets to protect and serve.
The best thing is just being back on the road, get back into the routine of what I love doing.
What Zachary Matthews loves doing is busting bad guys.
Traffic enforcement, drug and DUI enforcement.
And protecting his community.
Being able to help and interact with citizens of Belle Isle. And
No, sir, no, sir, no, sir.
But Zach was the one who needed help last May when he and fellow Belle Isle police officer Christian Rodriguez tried to arrest a man who put up a fight and tried to drive away. Zach fell under and was run over by the trailer and couldn't breathe while pinned under the tire.
My main concern was survival. I knew that if I didn't get the trailer off me, I was not going to be able to breathe and I would eventually die. And then also getting to my partner who needed help.
Somehow he managed to free himself and run to Rodriguez to help him make the arrest. But it came at a steep price. Zach suffered 3 breaks in his upper back and nerve damage in his legs, enduring 6 long months of painful rehab. But he promised himself he would not give up.
To me, it was important to show that you can get knocked down, but you get back up. You never stop. You enjoy doing what you're doing. You know, you really never work a day in your life, but, you know, when it comes down to this job and this career, this is ultimately what I love doing.
Now that Zach is well and back on the job, he's looking forward to the prosecution of the suspect that he was trying to arrest at the time that he got run over by that trailer. Carlos Jerome Miller is charged with battery on a law enforcement officer and resisting arrest with violence. Zach's chief says getting justice will be important, but not as important as having Zach back on duty.
We're extremely excited. It was funny watching him every day, trying not to gnaw his arm off because he was so excited to get back to work.
The kind of work Zach wasn't sure he'd be able to do again, but one that has the second-year officer back behind the wheel.
The feelings that I've gotten from this is the sense of community from everyone's support.
In Belle Isle, Greg Fox, West 2 News.